Today I'm going to talk about the meaning of suffering in the teaching of Saint John of the Cross. Saint John of the Cross is famous for dark night, so some people might be afraid of his teaching. But actually, he's talking about grace, so I will try to explain now. When I went to Rome, I went into the Sistine Chapel and I look at the statue in front of Sistine Chapel in the surrounding around the area that where the gate of the chapel is. There was a statue of Pieta, a very famous, a very beautiful statue made by Michelangelo, one of the greatest artists in the human history. Also, when I went to another chapel in Rome, when I was in a tour, I also saw a statue of David. It looks really like real. But what really amazed me was how they are made. Michelangelo, when he found a rock, a marble rock, he already saw the beautiful figure inside. So what he did is remove the unnecessary part from these marble rocks. When God sees us, He looks at us in a beautiful soul, a beautiful image of God. But we are not perfect, so it has to be purified. So like Michelangelo, how he made these beautiful statues, God also wants to make our image, our shape in a best version possible, the most beautiful version of ourselves. But this cannot be done without some suffering. So here comes the meaning of suffering by Saint John of the Cross. For Saint John of the Cross, he has a very strong metaphor, and he many times in his writing it appears again and again, the metaphor of light and darkness. So for John of the Cross, light means joy, pleasure, sometimes happiness. On the other hand, the darkness means the lack of joy, lack of pleasure, which means pain, agony, or suffering. But suffering doesn't finish by itself. For John, suffering is a grace of God. We can understand in this example. I will give you one example. When I was in a class in my school, Loyola School of Theology, I was looking at how rehabilitation process is done. So it's about addiction. When someone is addicted to something, or drug or alcohol, rehabilitation begins usually only by the suffering. When the addict feels suffering in enjoying what he used to enjoy, he started to think about solution, a remedy, healing. So probably that's the moment that they think about call for a rehab center or some helps. So in the same way, in spiritual rehabilitation, I put it in this way: spiritual rehabilitation, purification. Saint John of the Cross say inordinate appetite or attachment we have should be purified or detached, separate from us. That's what God wants to work on us. So through suffering, for Saint John of the Cross, darkness, a lack of joy, lack of pleasure, through suffering, Actually, in other words, through the grace of God, we can be purified, we can come to the closer to the image of God, image of Jesus Christ. That's the meaning of suffering by Saint John of the Cross. So in summary, for Saint John of the Cross, the meaning of suffering, the dark night, is grace of God, the healing remedy. Thank you for listening and God bless you.